Namaste and welcome to your Hatha Indian yoga practice. So there's going to be a focus on the hips and we'll move through some Hatha yoga poses and hold a couple yin poses in between. We'll get started at the top of the mat in Tadasana, just closing the eyes down and taking a few slow and mindful breaths. Feeling your breath move in and out of your chest, into the lungs. Feel the presence of your mat underneath your feet, connecting you to earth. Can you let the thoughts in the mind fade into the background? Place your hands on your hips and start to sway your hips in a little circle, testing it out, noticing the sensation, and then switch the directions, keeping your circle a little bit smaller. And you can start to make these circles a little bit bigger. Getting deeper into the hips, can you notice how your joints move around? Where else can you feel this stretch, this fluidity? Switch directions. Breathing awareness into your hips, into your hamstrings. Good. Start to make your circles a little bit smaller and make your way up to stand, Tadasana. Deep breath in. Tuck your chin, start to roll down the spine into a forward fold. Let your arms dangle down towards the mat. Breathe into the low back, feeling the decompression there. The stretching into the hamstrings as you lift your tailbone. Now bringing your weight into your fingertips or your hands, start to shift the weight backwards in towards the heels. And then shift the weight forwards onto your toes and your fingertips. Just playing around with the movement in the body, what's being lengthened, what isn't. And shift forward and back a couple more times. And finding a neutral position with the feet, deep breath into half lift, flat back. Pulling your shoulders away from your ears, hug the belly into the spine, and fold forward. Step the left foot into a grounded low lunge, untucking the back toes, dropping the knee. You can sway from side to side to let the femur bones settle into the hip joint. When you're ready, place your hands onto your hips, pressing down gently, deepening the stretch into the left hip flexor. Bring your left hand to the back of the leg and reach your right arm up high to the sky, sinking deeper into the hips with every exhale. With a gentle breath out, return your hands to the mat, but inside of the right foot. Heel toeing the right foot to the edge of your mat will come into lizard. This will be our first yin posture, meaning we're going to be holding it for some time. So you can choose to have the right knee open, coming onto the edge of the foot, or keep the foot stepped down. You're also welcome to lower onto your forearms. Breathe through discomfort, never any pain. You can very slowly come out of your position, bringing your right knee back in and heel toeing the foot into the middle of your mat. Half split, start to straighten through the right leg and you can tuck the left toes. Come forward back into your low lunge. Lift the back knee off the mat. Coming into a high lunge, you can place your hands to the tops of the thigh, then onto your hips. With the breath in, you can sweep your arms up to the ceiling. Find stillness and strength in your thighs, in your legs. We're going to come into a pyramid pose. So we're going to hop the left heel down to the ground, toes will turn out. Keep your hips guided forward, straighten your right leg. Bring your hands onto your hips and then hinge with a flat back. Pressing your thumbs into your low back to tilt your pelvis forward and down. Staying strong through the belly, start to lift yourself up. Bend the knees and step to the top of your mat. Tadasana mountain pose. Tuck the chin, let the arms dangle and fold forward down to the mat. Inhale into a halfway lift. Exhale, tap the right toes to the bottom of the mat, finding your low lunge here. Making your way with your hands on the top of the leg. Good. Place your hands onto your hips, gently pressing them down to earth. Opening the heart, breathing through the right hip flexor. We're going to bring the right hand to the back of the leg and sweep the left arm up to the sky, finding a deep little back bend here, opening the chest. Full belly breath in. And breath out, windmill your hands down to the mat inside of the foot, finding your lizard. Now your lizard doesn't need to look the same as it did on the other side. For example, I am personally experiencing a little bit of pain in my left hip, so my right knee is just a little bit more forward than it typically would be. Find where you need to be and settle into the yin energy of the posture. Moving very slowly and mindfully, heel toe the left foot back in and find half splits, straightening the left leg, tuck the back toes, sending the hips to the heel. Walking forward back into your lunge, lift off of the back knee and begin making your way into your high lunge. Bringing your hands onto your hips or reaching them up to the sky. Focusing on your balance, draw the belly in. We'll lift off of the right heel, bring your hands to your hips, coming into your pyramid. Folding from the hips, pressing your thumbs into the back body to tilt the pelvis forward, finding length in the hamstring. Good. Lift yourself up and then lower both knees down to the mat. Turn to face the wide edge of your mat, and if you have really sensitive knees, fold both the top and the bottom ends towards the middle so you're on double the mat. We're going to take frog pose. So bringing your knees in line with your hips, your heels straight back and your toes turned out. And you can lower onto your forearms. Breathe through the discomfort in your hips, but you don't want to feel any pain. Really try to soften the muscles deep into the hips. We're here for the next couple of moments. We'll begin to come out of this posture so you can sort of follow your natural instinct. Otherwise, just pressing yourself up onto your hands and bringing your knees back together. We'll take a seat, bringing your knees into your chest, giving yourself a little hug. Breathing through the rebound of that posture. And find butterfly pose or bound angle pose, bringing the feet together and gently hinging forward, keeping the back nice and straight. Take one more breath. And slowly press yourself up. We're going to extend the left leg long and bring the right heel towards the right hip. So you're not quite sitting on the heel, but the knee is pointing forward and the toes are pointing back. You can stay here, or you can lower onto your forearms, or you can lay all the way down onto the spine. Making sure that your right knee doesn't come up off the mat, and if it is, then you should lift yourself up a little bit more so that you can ensure the muscles are being relaxed. This is the key to receiving benefits of yin poses. If you are all the way down on your back, start to lift yourself up onto your forearms and then onto your hands. Extend the right leg long and gently move in the hips, shifting your weight from side to side. And we'll take it to the other side, this time bending the left knee, tucking the toes by the glutes. You can lower onto your forearms, using that front knee as your guide. Try to soften the muscles in the leg. Focus on your breath. Lifting yourself up, come onto your forearms, onto the palms, and bind the left leg, and then lower all the way onto your back body. Taking a deep breath here. Step your feet down to the mat. Breathing into the low back, feeling the support underneath you. One at a time, bring your knees into your chest. Giving yourself a great big hug. You can rock from side to side, circle the knees. And then when you're ready, rock and roll on the spine to lift up into a seat. We'll close off our practice with one more breath together. You're welcome to remain here afterwards for a few more breaths. Otherwise, inhale, sweep your arms up to the sky. Exhale, bring your hands together at heart center. The light in me sees, acknowledges, and honors the light in you, and knows that they are the same. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice. I hope you feel better in the hips and hamstrings, and I'll see you in the next class.